start. So welcome to our last month of work. I was explaining earlier, we need to work hard this month of November because December will be just finishing up work, presenting, finishing writing, work, finishing the portfolio. So it's a month in which we will be just rounding up. Therefore, November is important. Remember, you're working in groups, tell your groups to connect. So you work in class, take advantage of the time and do everything in class. So incredible enough, we are in week 11. Week 11 is incredible. Time is flying. Last week was a week in which you had some free time. So that's why I was hoping to see more of your portfolios for formative feedback. So if we remember the evaluations, we were talking about, so the plan, the class plan was evaluated and uploaded. Participation is ongoing. Remember, you have to upload your everything we do for, we have mainly a way of participation that is forums, some tasks. There will be a wiki in today's task. So there will be some activities for participation, and this is your 10%. By the end of November, this will be due. Remember, December, we won't have any more classes per se. You will be finishing up and finishing your unit plan, which is something eventful. Yes, it's something important in your lives, in your careers. So micro teaching is done and recorded, so it will be evaluated. Portfolios need to be handed in for formative assessment. That's what we were talking about. And the final test unit plan, which is a real step forward for you. You will be the first group to do it at this level. And so I am very proud of you. And we will be working along, it's also a process. It's a process work. Well, the weeks look, well, a little bit empty. It's not empty. We will be filling in according to how we progress. But today we start unit 3, developing reading and writing with beginner learners. So this is our new unit, a new tile in Educandos as well. And you will start planning or thinking and planning step by step a thematic skills unit plan in groups. So we organize the class. Now we will go step forward towards a unit. And I was commenting just with the girls that came earlier that students in 3rd year in the 1st semester in English practicum were given this task by a mentor teacher. Yeah? To take the contents from the bases curriculares and organize a unit. And so they worked with a unit, the parts of the house, I think, in fifth grade. And so they were in charge of preparing all of the activities for several classes. And it's a great experience. You are going to have this experience earlier. Therefore, you are much more advanced. And please upload a portfolio for formative assessment. So we have 4 weeks to develop our unit plan. And then 5 weeks, and then we will have the final written version already in December, and then an oral presentation. This will not be micro teaching, but an oral presentation of your work, your unit, the topic, the skills you're developing, the activities, a short presentation in groups about that unit. your experience in planning it. And the portfolio is due on the 14th. But since you are making the effort to finish half of the portfolio now, then you will have less effort. Finally, the last week, we will have a cumulative test for those who might be at a disadvantage, or some evaluation item is not done or not successfully done. So let me know if you understand. So each week we will be completing here, but more or less you have a general idea of what is missing. The final unit plan is a big task, and the portfolio. You know, the portfolio is always there. You need to be reflecting every week and showing your progress. Okay, any questions in regards evaluations? Okay, is it clear? ¿Alguna pregunta?
No.
Will be knowledgeable by the end of your career. Yes, okay. So just a brief, okay, so that's what this means. This means that we will be working with everything in yellow is the unit plan. And then the portfolio will be due, the final version due. But you will also have time to finish. Do not worry. Cumulative test, in case any of the grades in any of the evaluation items is low. Okay, and just as the spring break game evaluation, just as a brief reflection, I should congratulate you. It was a great afternoon. Professor Daniel was very much impressed by your activities. He said you made a great effort to keep speaking in English, and the children were very participative. And you know, children are very participative at this age. And so really, so Professor Daniel, who doesn't know any English, was very much impressed by you. And so that's congratulations, big congratulations for you. And just a brief reflection on what you did. How do you evaluate? We know what you did, but just as a reminder. How do you evaluate the activity with the children? What is your overall evaluation? Anyone would like to say something? And what would you do differently? Remember that we try to learn on our actions to improve. Hopefully these will be activities in fall, winter, and spring, summer. These activities will be implemented. Just also as a, yes, Catalina, as a, how can we say, as to keep this connection with schools and this connection with children as well. Yes, Catalina, your turn. What would you like to say?
In the third tick, in the what would you differently for the next edition, I think that it would be a good idea to change the skill to develop in the activities. If I did the listening skill next class or next spring winter game, I will develop the writing, the reading. I don't know.
Yes, it would be a good idea to change the skills with which you have been working. Yes, so groups. Groups have been working. Yes, we also have to be open to the possibility that these activities could be face-to-face activities on campus. We do not know, probably we do not know what 2022 will bring, but we have parents writing and saying that their children were were thrilled, were happy with the activity. And so I already invited them for next year. And hopefully this can be repeated. And I think you could see children who want to come really like English. They like learning English, and that's great that more and more children. Still, I think it's a very it's a very small group of children who really appreciate the learning of English and value the learning of English. But we will hopefully have reach more children to be interested in participating. That would be great. It's one of our objectives, also to motivate children, more children, and hopefully we will be able. Also, one possibility would be to be done face-to-face. But yes, as an internal organization for the groups, working together, alternating the skills, and also ages. Paola and Vanessa have worked with young children this year. Next year, they will be invited to work probably with older ones, and so on and so forth. Yes, we can do that, those adaptations, so that you have opportunity to work with different group ages. Also, remember, there was originally the idea that these modules, literature, children's literature, creating an environment and facilitating acquisition, at the least there was one activity that teacher candidates will do in schools with children. So we are keeping with those original ideas alive, which I think are very valuable. And probably this will be also installed in the career from years to come. Yes, that these activities will be carried out. So remember, when you're in 5th year, you will see, probably you will be probably in charge of these activities, and you will organize them on campus, probably to share with children. So that would be great. And you will remember our beginnings in the year 2021, in the middle of a pandemic. So you're writing history, the history of a career. Okay, and in general, an evaluation, formative evaluation, would be thumbs up, thumbs down. Is it positive? Yes, I think it is positive, of course. I don't have to overthink about that, but what's your opinion? Any other opinion? Girls? Krishna? No opinion. You were very busy. You were very lost. But I think it's a positive activity, whatever you do in order to practice English. Professor Daniel was really amazed at how you try to keep English, to increase the words you used in English.
Children know a lot. Children have a lot of vocabulary.
Yeah, yes. They like English. And they were very participative, Vanessa says. Yes. So I don't think you have to be scared that they are not going to understand, and use more and more English with them. That would be great. Very participative and new. New, a lot of vocabulary. Yes. Remember, we are at a disadvantage since we do not know the children. They are new, come from different backgrounds, different schools. So it was okay that we had the permission of explaining something in Spanish, just to generate participation and trust in the children. But also that you turn to use more English was a very good decision. And you made that decision at the moment. And that is something you will always have to do. Yes, solve problems, see if you have to turn to Spanish just because children are not understanding and you need to keep on going, or just keep in English because everything goes okay, even when you had the idea of combining the languages. So that was a great decision and I commend you, and that's the life of a teacher. You're always in that position of solving problems. So well done, congratulations, and hopefully we will continue doing. And since you are the founders, son las fundadoras prácticamente, so you will be overseeing this. By the time you are in 5th year, you will be probably in charge of overseeing the younger students coming to the career to carry out these events. So girls, you are the pioneers. Yes, you are the ones who will be in charge in the future, hopefully. That will teach you a lot as well. And now this 3rd unit, and Catalina was right in advance saying that we are now going to develop reading and writing. We did a lot of speaking and listening, and the same we did if you think of the language module, world events, when we concentrate on though we practice all the skills, there are some units that tend to practice one more than the other. And this will be probably one way of organizing future curriculum. It's not the only one, but it's a possibility. And the creators of the program thought of developing speaking and listening first, and now reading and writing. So we will be reading, listening, yes, to some ideas related to theories in English language teaching in reference to reading and writing. Right. So now I will share with you the worksheet, the task, so you can also follow. And the first is about you, about a reflection about how you learned. Oh yes, Vanessa, thank you for your participation. I'm just seeing, I will add your comments. So the idea is that you analyze yourselves. Yes, here, this is task 5. And you analyze, how did you learn English? So you started at different ages, but you all started in childhood. Todas empezaron en la infancia.
¿Cómo, teacher?
Did you all learn in childhood English? Did you learn English when you were children? Okay. So your first reflection is introducing children to, this is the subtitle. So the task is developing reading and writing, pedagogical strategies. Did you all receive the task? Could you see the task? Wait a minute. Also writing something I cannot see. Con Dora la Exploradora. Ah, okay. So Catalina learned with Dora la Exploradora. Some of you learned in primary school, in elementary school. So I'm going to share with you, show you the task 5. Oh, so tell me if not, I can also share by means of Go, Cata, go. Go. Yes, Dora la Exploradora. Yes. My little niece also, when my niece was little, used to watch Dora. All right. So this is the first. So we have 2 charts to complete, some questions, some research materials. Yes, so this is the task, more research materials, and the wiki. So this is our task 5. So the first is about you. About you. And how do you remember you learned English when you were children? So Dora la Exploradora. Okay, so what were you learning with Dora la Exploradora mainly? What did you learn? When you were 5?
Very easy. O sea, eso igual es una oración que era buena. Además lo podemos siempre, entonces estaba el there is, ahí está.
There is, okay, and so but everything was listening and speaking.
Sí, listening and speaking, porque supone que la loca no hacía hablar cuando nos preguntaba dónde está tal cosa y la cosa está al frente de ella, la mina ciega. El listening, porque no hacía cantar igual.
Listening and speaking. Yes, so mainly until 5, 6 years old. When you were 5, 4, 3, 4, 5, children like this kind of interactive programs. They can also do the same at school with their teachers. And we have seen lots of videos in which little children interact a lot, listening and speaking with their teachers. So, and what do you think of 5-year-olds? Are they able to develop any of the other 2 skills, reading and writing? Even if they are at school?
¿En qué edad?
Until 5 years old, when they are in kindergarten.
Writing, I didn't remember.
No.
Writing and reading,
no. Probably, well, they develop vocabulary since Catalina also remembers what she learned with Dora. I don't think so. No, Vanessa says, right. Yes, you're right. So, reading, writing, you learn vocabulary. Yes.
Listening and speaking again.
Yes, listening and speaking. Yes. And you develop vocabulary by this and also pronunciation of words. Yes, children are good at repeating pronunciation, and therefore they are all the time learning. Yes, vocabulary, pronunciation above all, and listening and speaking, repeating a lot. Then when you start elementary school around 6, 7, 8, and remember also your lesson plans for 2nd grade, 3rd grade. Which do you think continue to be the order of skills, if you have to order them? In your case, when you were in elementary school, what did you do first in 1st, 2nd, 3rd grade? What do you do first?
I don't know, because my process of learning English was different. My school didn't have English at first, so we have to we're in 5th grade.
5th grade. So you're here in the 3rd column, Vanessa. And what did you do there when you were in 4th, 5th grade? What did you do?
I remember that the teacher showed us colors and music, but mostly that work.
So you continue doing listening and speaking?
But also I remember that she used to que nos ponía como la canción del cumpleaños feliz, y nosotros teníamos que escribir cumpleaños.
So you had to write and read, so you have more. Yes.
And we usually get wrong because of the order.
Yes, so you did more. So you had the colors and probably the words, but much more in 5th grade. This is much more demanding. Yes.
Yeah.
With 6th grade, so the 1st grade, 2nd grade, you already present some words to your students. Yes. Mainly, and because of your planning that I was reading over the weekend, you still do a lot of listening and speaking first, trying to present, to introduce vocabulary, and then you combine with reading and writing. And you could see in the activities, yes, in the spring games. Okay. And a little bit of reading, yes. So they start recognizing words. They can do matching, yes, word and images, remember. And writing, of course, is what appears at the end. So when you are already older. Yes, still, yes, exactly. Also at the age of, in which grade, Catalina? Yes, they drew and wrote the names of words.
Como entre third grade?
Third grade, yes, a little bit of writing. Yes, yes, exactly. Yes, we all did the same. You start recognizing words, yes. But remember, you already have this practice of listening. Remember the silent period in which you're already learning pronunciation, vocabulary. So you really progress a lot in this time. And if you think now at the university, you're doing all of this at another level. And still, somehow we still rely also more that it's better that you start with speaking and listening, and then concentrate on reading and writing, which need a lot of time, dedication. I told you in the events module, you really need time to read, to concentrate on reading takes time. You're good readers. You're good readers. You have been reading in your mother tongue as well since you're young. So please keep on practicing. And writing, of course, needs a lot of organization and dedication. Yes, so when we are also at these levels of, we also think that somehow this is a good organization. So of course, it's just a decision, and it can be altered as well. It depends. So now, what do you think? Because first of all, it's what you did. More or less, we saw this. I saw this when teaching children, little children. I started teaching 7-year-olds, and of course, we relied a lot on songs, short dialogues, lots of repeating. Yes, and then they did just short readings and writings. And this was, of course, increasing the reading and writing as they grew up in age. But now, according to your thoughts, in which chronological order do you think beginner learners should be taught? There are skills that are taught at the same age, at the same stage, yes? Listening and speaking, for example, when children are little. So what do you think of this, according to your understanding? What should we teach 3 to 5-year-olds?
Listening.
Listening, yes. Develop listening, a lot of listening. Yes, and probably with time, we won't have so much time with academic listening, with listening to specific information as it happens in the tests that we are doing, yes, or listening and understanding a specific meaning. Yes, probably the younger we start with listening in a foreign, a second language, the better. Yes. Listening and until they are 5.
Speaking.
Speaking, yes. Listening and speaking, yes. 6 to 8, first graders to third graders.
The same as first.
Yes, listening. Yes, always listening.
And in the third place, the writing.
Yes. So here, do we do listening and speaking? When they are 9, yes, they have been developing a lot of listening and speaking. And we add we add 2 more. Reading and writing. Yes, in the bases curriculares, you can also see, for example, from 5th grade onwards, how they have much more vocabulary and they have short text. And you have also written in your lesson plans about these objectives, learning objectives. Okay, yes, so that's from our common knowledge, the knowledge. And you have this, you will be able to finish, so complete this in your papers, in your tasks. So in regards your reasoning, yes, so think, turn on the lights, the bulb, the bulb, turn on the bulb. Este es el, how do you call this in this country? What's the name? Yes, that was it's a light bulb. Light bulb, vamos a aprender y vamos a pensar, okay? So you're going to reason, think. What are the differences between teaching English to a Spanish child who can read in Spanish and to a child who cannot read in Spanish? Because if you think here, yes, you have children that know how to listen and speak in Spanish, but they do not know how to read and write. Whereas here, students already apply all of the skills in their in Spanish, in their mother tongue, in Spanish, in French, in Portuguese, whatever is their mother tongue. So when you start teaching English, for example, as a second language, these children already have these skills developed in their mother tongue. So this is what this question is referring to. Yes, so think, yes, we will have a time to work in groups so you can think with your classmates and think of a possible answer, yes. What are the differences between teaching English to Spanish speaking child who can read and write in Spanish, yes, like is this in this case, yes, 9 to 13-year-olds, all children who go to school already know how to listen, speak, read, and write in Spanish. And in comparison to children who do not, yes, 3, 4, 5-year-olds can sing, repeat words, answer questions, yes, do total physical response, but of course they do not write or read abundantly, yes, fluently in their mother tongue. Some of them know how to read by the age of 5, but as some children do. Okay, so think, ¿sí? La diferencia entre enseñar inglés a niños que ya saben, desarrollaron las habilidades en español y aquellos que no. Number 2, how is first language literacy related to second language literacy? And here there is an important word that we are going to search. Literacy. What does literacy mean? We are going to search for that word. And so you have L1 literacy and L2. L1 literacy in Spanish, for example. L2 literacy. So you will find out about literacy. Interesting. And then 3, should children be able to use the word orally before they try to read the word or write the word? So there are different positions in that. Okay, so I will let you think, yes, so think, but we will divide in 2 groups. One is going to read about the concept, what is literacy? And the other group is going to watch a video. on what is literacy. But both groups are going to look for the following. What kinds of abilities and skills does the concept of literacy include? So literacy, there are different conceptualizations, let us say, on how different scholars explain the concept of literacy. How long does it take for a person to be considered literate? So literate is the adjective of literacy.
Como letrado, ¿cierto?
Letrado, tiene que ver con, yes, has to do with letters. Not only, but in a broader sense, not only letters. And explain the concept of literacy using your own words. So you will read and listen to it from different points of view. Yes, literacy. They do not know how to translate to Spanish. Moreover, be careful, there is no direct translation. Some of them, I have even seen literacidad, which doesn't exist. Yes, it's not a word in Spanish. So be careful, it's tricky to translate, but it has to do with knowledge of language. Vanessa is right, but not only, yes, not only, but yes, it's part of literacy. Okay, so we are going to divide in groups. One group is going to read, of course, you're going to read the same. The resource is a kind of, the reading resource is a kind of, let me check, it's a kind of PowerPoint presentation, yes, from UNESCO. That's the reading, and you don't need to read the whole PPT. It's just the main pages, and here you have literacy according to different organizations. Okay, that's it. And the other one is a book, is a video. Yes, Vanessa.
Can I suggest something?
Yes.
We are just 4, and can we do this
yes,
all together?
Together,
because,
yes.
Yes, because we are 4, and if we are, y si nos separan en dos.
If we're divided in two, two can read and two can listen. I don't know how it's better.
Es que van a perder la otra parte. Por ejemplo, si yo escucho, la otra van a leer, y si la otra van a perder lo que yo escucho. Entonces, si somos poquito igual, es más fácil que todas veamos lo mismo.
All right. Yes, I agree. We can listen together, and then you take some time to read a little bit. So 2, 3 slides only. So we can listen together, and we have 2 more. That's why I lost some people on the way. All right. So tell your groups, remind the girls that you need to work in groups today. In an hour, more or less, you will be already working in a group. Literacy. Okay, so we will watch the video. It's a definition. So remember, what are you going to pay attention to when listening to literacy? What kinds of abilities and skills does the concept of literacy include? I'm going to copy in the chat. I don't know whether you have them. You have the guiding questions. So what kind of abilities and skills does the concept of literacy include? How long does it take for a person to be considered literate? And explain the concept of literacy in your own words, using your own words. Okay, so let us do the listening exercises. That is something we need to revise. We will do it first. Oh my gosh, I need to look it up in my browser. Okay, so take notes. Remember, try to focus on the words you know. So they're going to talk about literacy. It is related to letters, to reading, to writing, but not only, okay? And knowledge. So those are words that will be useful for you to bear in mind. Ah, no, 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 no. No. Sorry, there was a problem with the video. Okay, now I'm just trying to organize the video again. Sorry. All right. Now, yes.
Literacy is traditionally understood as the ability to read, write, and use arithmetic. The modern term's meaning has been expanded to include the ability to use language, numbers, images, computers, and other basic means to understand, communicate, gain useful knowledge and use the dominant symbol systems of a culture. The concept of literacy is expanding in OECD countries to include skills to access knowledge through technology and ability to assess complex contexts. The key to literacy is reading development, a progression of skills that begins with the ability to understand spoken words and decode written words, and culminates in the deep understanding of text. Reading development involves a range of complex language underpinnings including awareness of speech sounds, phonology, spelling patterns, orthography, word meaning, semantics, grammar, syntax, and patterns of word formation, morphology, all of which provide a necessary platform for reading fluency and comprehension. Once these skills are acquired, the reader can attain full language literacy, which includes the abilities to apply to printed material critical analysis, inference and synthesis, to write with accuracy and coherence, and to use information and insights from text as the basis for informed decisions and creative thought. The inability to do so is called illiteracy or analphabetism. The United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization (UNESCO) defines literacy as the ability to identify, understand, interpret, create, communicate and compute, using printed and written materials associated with varying contexts. Literacy involves a continuum of learning in enabling individuals to achieve their goals, to develop their knowledge and potential, and to participate fully in their community and wider society.
Okay, so there we have the support of words, so it's easier to follow. And this is a very comprehensive concept of literacy. That's very comprehensive. What does it suggest? What kinds of abilities does the concept include? What do you think?
The ability to read, write, and use arithmetic, I wrote.
Yes, to read, write, and use arithmetic. Yes, arithmetic. So it's not only yes, not only reading and writing, which was originally thought to be the basis of literacy. Now we need much more knowledge in order to be literate. For example, you need not only to understand words, letters. What else do you need to understand in order to be literate? I will share the
Words?
Yes, words, letters, words, numbers. But what else? What else do you need to understand? Know how to do? So usually, what else?
The meaning of.
Yes, meaning of words. And what else? Meaning, yes. The semantics. I told you, semantics, yes. That is something we need to develop for the test as well. What else do we need? grammar, syntax. Remember the sentences that we have been practicing, topics in grammar, yes, verb tenses, passive voice, active voice, yes. Word formation, morphology. Remember in vocabulary, we have seen morphology. So we have interaction, interact, interactive. So with the same root, we change some suffixes and we change the words, yes, and we create new words. Okay, for example, that means also to be literate. What else do you need to do in order to be literate? Here you have the first paragraph. What do you think is important?
Identify keywords o words that you con las que ya he trabajado, puede ser.
Yes, vocabulary, development of vocabulary. Remember here, understanding. So in order to be literate, you need to understand vocabulary, yes, and all of this, sounds, patterns, what else? Meanings, word formation, you need to understand. What else do you do with it, with all these elements in order to be literate? You understand, you know how to form words, put words together. What else do you need to do? It is here, the first paragraph. What do you do with all that? Here, can you read?
Yeah, but I don't understand.
Yes, ¿qué más hacemos con todos estos conocimientos? We understand, and what do we do again? What else do we do?
Communicate.
Communicate. We communicate messages. Yes, we communicate messages. We communicate that understanding. And we gain knowledge. ¿Sí? Nosotros aprendemos a través del desarrollo de literacy, que es un término difícil de traducir. De hecho, nosotros comprendemos el mundo alrededor nuestro, adquirimos conocimiento y comunicamos. Yes, all of the systems of a culture. So it's a very comprehensive concept. Yes, so I need to know a lot in order to communicate, also to be fluent, but mainly for understanding. ¿Sí? Principalmente para entender, para comunicar, para aprender, también para ser fluido en lo que hago, pero en la lectura, en el uso de la lengua, por ejemplo. So it's important that says the ability is literacy, but the lack of ability is called illiteracy or analphabetism, and that is a word more similar to Spanish. Which word is this?
Analfabeto.
Analfabetismo, yes. So a kind of, one of the near synonyms of literacy is alphabetism. Entonces, una de las cercanos sinónimos de literacy es el alfabetismo, que no es solo el conocimiento de la lengua, ¿sí? De los elementos de la lengua, de la fonología, de la ortografía, de la semántica, de la sintaxis, ¿verdad? O de la morfología, sino también el conocimiento de símbolos, números, ¿sí? Todas las ramas de la matemática, porque de esa manera yo puedo hacer todo lo que dice acá, ¿yes? I have the ability to identify, understand, interpret, create, communicate, and compute. Entonces, todas las habilidades que yo tengo, lingüísticas y no lingüísticas. De esa manera soy una persona alfabetizada. Si no, soy una persona analfabeta. Bien, lo que estaba diciendo Vanessa. Yes? Illiterate. Okay. So here it means that all of this knowledge is related to varying contexts. Yes. And of course, literacy involves a continuum of learning. So you're always learning and you're becoming literate in different topics. Yes. With time, I became literate in the knowledge of research or research methods, but that's something that have taken years to develop. And of course, you develop your knowledge. You know one little thing more today than you did yesterday, and potential to participate in the community and society. So it's a wider meaning, as you see, of literacy. Very, very wide, very comprehensive. But you will find different ones. You will find different variations of this, yes? And how do you think, how long does it take for a person to be literate? We have just seen. ¿Cuánto tiempo nos lleva la alfabetización? Do you know everything, absolutely everything?
I'm sorry, what, teacher?
So how long does it take to be literate? ¿Cuánto lleva
It's not a time, un tiempo específico, but it's a process. It could be long. Sure,
It is,
the person.
yes, according to the video, it is a lifelong process. Yes, it takes a whole life to become literate and learn about new things that you didn't know before. Yes. So then when you meet in groups, after we go to a short break, you will define literacy using your own words to complete your task as well. And this, using your own words, you will explain the concept of literacy. All right. Okay, so we will go to the bathroom, yes, and take 5 minutes, and you can start working in your groups. So do you all have your tasks?
Yes, I do.
Okay, you can work the 4 of you together if you prefer and support each other. Okay, and the most important is in the worksheet, the most important is the definition. You have the reading, which is short, just two, 3 slides. The most important is the definition in your own words. What do you think? How would you complete the concept of literacy? Hemos dicho alfabetismo, pero es un poco, es a near synonym. Okay. All right, so then you will complete several exercises. So the first exercise for you is to think of what we discussed, yes, about everything that encompass the concept of literacy, all of the knowledge that and the development of knowledge that it includes, and what is your own concept of literacy. Before going today, before we stop working together and you continue your groups, you're going to present this concept with your own words. So in order to help you use your own words to describe literacy, which words or phrases or sentences can help you define the concept of literacy? We can work together. Each person says something that collaborates to develop the concept of literacy.
Knowledge.
Knowledge, yes. Knowledge, and what else? So knowledge is like abstract. What can be more more concrete, Vanessa.
Read, no es read.
Reading, yes. What is that? Reading. What are they?
Skills.
Skills, yes. Knowledge, yes. And skills development. Okay, excellent. These two imply literacy. Yes, perfect. Okay. Skills progression, excellent.
Communicate.
Communication. Yes, communication, yes. So we have to, yes. Skills development and progress. That is what Catalina is saying. Yes, excellent. Communication. And what else? Communication.
Long process, learning process.
Yes, a lifelong, this is called like this, a lifelong learning process. Sí, un proceso de aprendizaje a lo largo de la vida. And it is called like this. And it's usually you will find lifelong learning. You will find that in the literature in that way. The same concept. Lifelong learning, for example. Okay. And black. Okay. And one other thing that we can say about literacy. Yes, it's language, says Catalina, but not only language. What else does it imply?
Language, images, computers.
Yes. Images. Yes.
Fluency.
What else? What numbers?
Computers.
Yes, numbers, language, images, numbers, calculations in general, use of computers.
Lata
Images,
said in the chat fluency.
Fluency, yes. Numbers, images, Vanessa said, yes. Use of computers. Fluency, yes. But that goes together with, when we talk, for example, that literacy implies, what else? Before communication, what do I do? First, I understanding. Communication, yes. Learning, yes, I use literacy to learn. Learning and fluency. Yes, any other?
In the language part, images twice.
Yes, so yes, use of computers, yes, images, okay. So understanding, communication, learning, some of it was a little, okay, and fluency. Okay, and there is something else. This is not okay, wonderful, fluency, yes, exactly, girls. So you have said the most important elements of this final concept that you have to organize in written with complete sentences with full stops using this specific vocabulary. Yes, so this is a challenge for you, remember. And now to help you with another step, when do you think, yes, how and when should children be introduced to L2 reading and writing? When do you think? Because we were talking about that at the beginning of the class. When should children?
They know how to write and read, maybe?
Yes, wait, you introduce reading and writing when they know what, Vanessa? That's the other way around. What do they need to be introduced reading and writing?
When they have a vocabulary, when they are
when they know, yes, when they know vocabulary.
When maybe then when they are curious to know something.
Curious, curiosity, motivation is important. Knowledge, previous images. Yes, exactly. When they can make, Catalina, when they can make connections, yes? When they can make connections between images and words. And words, yes. When else? It's related to the other skills also. So this is reading and writing. But we did already listening and speaking. Remember, we come from the development of those skills. But now we are concentrating on reading and writing. What do they, listening and speaking, what do these two skills help develop that we need for reading and writing? Vocabulary, yes, you develop vocabulary and that helps you with reading and writing and vice versa, yes. Grammar, yes, knowledge of grammar, so yes, Catalina, so when they know vocabulary, yes, grammar. What else do they need to read and write? Syntax, so all of those contents that we have been developing on Fridays, remember passive voice, the future expressions, the use of connectors, the writing of complete sentences.
Maybe when they are ready to and speak fluently without many mistakes. I mean, if they know how to speak, they will be easy to.
Right. Yes, because they have this knowledge. Yes, they have vocabulary. They know syntax, grammar, the verb tenses. They how to put the words together. Yes. So fluency in writing is speaking is a predictor of writing. Yes. Well, the exam assumes that. Yes, if you're good at writing, understanding, and communicating the use of few structures and correct grammar and syntax, then you're able to write. Yes, so this is what Vanessa is saying, yes. So fluency in speaking can be a predictor of fluency in speaking. It's a predictor of writing, of good writing, or I mean, that a person is ready to develop writing. A predictor of development in writing. Yes, and they know the sounds of the words. You're going to read about that, so I want to give you a heads up. Yes.
Yeah, because it would be easy to recognize them.
Yes, so they know sounds of the language. Yes, exactly. Sounds of the language, vocabulary, grammar, syntax, and then we have semantics and pragmatics. So all of the levels of language knowledge. Yes, exactly. So hopefully that is like that. Yes, apply reading strategies, reading aloud to the collaborate work. Catalina? Yes, when they know strategies in general, yes, so they know how to pay attention to important words, when they listen, remember? So they know how to apply strategies, and they can apply strategies to reading, for example, to reading, yes, and to writing, yes. So the application of strategies. Now remember, we can use strategies also for learning in general. The application of strategies. So whenever they are able to apply strategies in other skills, they can also transfer these strategies to reading and writing. Okay, great. Great. So now you will have some knowledge, some previous knowledge, but you will need to find out, and that is the rest of the task that you're going to develop in groups. You need to find out more information, more accurate information to finish a list of recommendations for teachers on what to pay attention when they decide to develop reading and writing with their students. So here we have some sentences that can be, and we can continue developing after we do this research in the different resources you have. So, for example, the first sentence, who would like to read aloud and tell me which is correct? Is should or should not? Anyone?
Should not.
Mm-hmm. So children, okay, children age up to 4 should not read and write. Yes, it's a recommendation. Yes, they do not read or write in Spanish yet. Yes, so yes, that would be the correct one. Excellent. Another one, number 2. Paola, Romina, children who can write some words in Spanish, age 4 and 5, can, should not learn to copy or write some words in English. Should is recommendation, can is general ability. Remember the modal verbs, the meaning. What do you think? Children who can write some words in Spanish, can, should not learn to copy or write some words in English. So come on, it's a any, just a prediction. Come on, you're going to read more.
Should.
Should. Should.
Should not.
Or can't.
Can.
Yes.
I would say can. It's a general possibility. Yes. So you have some teachers, even first graders, 6, they can copy. That's what also Catalina was saying. She could copy some words, recognize some words. Yeah, so it's a can. It's not a strong recommendation, but it's a possibility. Okay, finally, children who can read in Spanish after the age of 8 can and cannot learn to read and write in English. What do you think? What do they say? They know how to read in Spanish, read and write, read. Yes, and write. By the age of 9, they know how to read and write in Spanish, provided they have attended school.
Can.
So, can, yes, of course, they can. They have this ability, general ability, yes. So you will see what we were talking about at the beginning when Vanessa was explaining that by these grades, 4th, 5th grade, they were starting to read and write much more, let us say, than what they did previously, because it's obvious you have this ability, you develop more disabilities, yes? Because you have developed them in Spanish. Not only, but mainly because you already have developed literacy in Spanish. Okay, so these are like principles, guidelines for teachers, including reference to age. For example, we include some age references. So this will be the final, the post-reading, watching section to publish in a wiki. So every group will be able to publish in the wiki. Yes, and this will be a group work. So now your task will be to concentrate on resources that will be given to you in order to develop second language literacy for young beginner learners in a second language, in this case, or a foreign language, in this case, English. Okay, so it's your turn to research. Yes, you will work in groups and research this. You have, some of them are print, so some of them are websites, and you have 2 videos talking about the topic of developing literacy, L2 literacy for young beginner learners. So always when you think of something that is interesting to you and you can write down as a principle, y cada vez que encontramos una sección de la teoría que es muy importante y la puedo desarrollar como principio, como guía, what do I have to pay attention to? You have to explain reasonably some important considerations to take into account when introducing reading and writing. So always give considerations. Yes, it's important. Follow this. Yes, it's important that children. So some considerations when introducing reading and writing in the second language classroom, and in reference to literacy level and age. Yes, as the examples we have here. So we have reference to age. So at 4 or 5, they have a level of literacy. ¿Sí? Los niveles de habilidad con la lengua, de conocimiento, hemos dicho. So we have to mention the age and think of the level of the ability. And also pay attention, you will find information about how the development of literacy in the second language, in this case English, will depend greatly on literacy in the first language. Yes, so it is important. And remember that we said here, yes, whenever we are talking of young learners, we have to talk about the level of literacy. So 3-year-olds cannot read and write. We know that, but they have developed this in their language 1, in their mother tongue. Therefore, they can also develop in the second language or foreign language. So you have to be mindful of the level of literacy. And if they have this level of literacy in the first language, how this impacts teaching and learning activities. So always make that parallel. Yes. So think on how, and you will be in the position, you will have this complete picture once you are also elementary school teachers, because you will know all of the resources in your mother tongue. They will be also very helpful for you if you have the possibility to teach English as a foreign language, yes, because of the activities that you will be able to do. And I told you when you were preparing your lesson plans, be careful, which is the previous knowledge, which is the level they have, what do they know from before, from their mother tongue, in order to do such an activity, okay? So here you have the resources, and you will present this orally next class, and we will complete the wiki. So it takes time to research this. That's why I was thinking you can work on that. But before we go today, we have some minutes to develop this. No. The concept of literacy. So I will leave you here. I will leave you 6-7 minutes. You will have this at in sight, and you can discuss here about how are you going to explain the concept, and you add it in your task, in your written task. So in 10 minutes, do you think it's okay? 6-7 minutes? How many minutes do you need? And we will write it here to keep it in memory. So I will leave you for 8 minutes, discuss, I will not listen, and then you will tell me the definition of literacy.
¿qué?
Can you share?
Here is our answer. Literacy. A ver,
literacy.
que lea.
Literacy, yes.
Literacy. Ya, dale, Romy.
Me? Yeah. It is a lifelong learning process through skill development, such as reading, listening, writing, and speaking. Also is the ability to identify, interpret, and communicate arithmetic, language, use of computer, etc. Literacy is about the understanding and communication through variety of media.
Yes, exactly. It's understanding and communication. Yes, through media, a lifelong process. Yes, excellent. And the ability to learn also. Yeah, understand, communicate, and learn. Okay, new content. Yes, excellent, girls. You can do it. You can rewrite in your own words, and in that way, learn much more language. Okay, so now pay attention. This will be recorded also, and you can also talk to your classmates and explain to them that you will start working. We will finish next class. Since I need to go now, but and remember, we will continue with a list of principles and guidelines for teachers. But in this occasion, you will check on the resources provided. Always remember, you need to revise, refer to the age and literacy level of students when writing your own guidelines, as well as the literacy in L1 and how it impacts teaching and learning activities when teaching literacy in L2. And you will find a reference to this in the resources. So you have some printed resources, you have videos to watch, and everything is related to the development of strategies and skills in a second language, and how the knowledge, the previous knowledge of the first language influence that learning in the second language. Okay, so next class, you will need to either be quick, because we will continue with something else. Remember, we need to start with the activities for the unit. Yes, and you need to publish your summaries from so you have time now. You have 1 more hour to work on this and take advantage of this afternoon to write your summaries and publish on the wiki, in the wiki on Educandos. Next week, we will revise that, do the quick revision, because remember, your next step is to organize your activities for your unit plan. So all of this knowledge will be applicable to those activities you're going to plan. So now remember, we did in the lesson plan with a lot of reading and listening and speaking, sorry. Though there was some reading, of course, a little writing. But now when you plan the unit, you need to plan taking into account all of the skills, and moreover, reading and writing, which are new and which require their own guidelines. Yeah, remember. Okay, so do you understand what you have to do? Do we repeat? Okay, so we need you all next Tuesday to work together in your unit plans. Yes, please. So take advantage of Tuesday afternoon to work. Yes, Vanessa?
The wiki we uploaded as with R4 or how?
As you decide, if you want to work then the girls will need to work apart. That's possible. If not, you decide. You can upload the wiki as the 4 of you, but you will also need to help the girls in recognizing, yes. Also, they can watch the video and we will catch up from here, yes, this discussion next class. O sea, así desde aquí vamos a empezar la discusión para el martes que viene. Okay, so is there anything we need? Okay, so next Tuesday is the 9th of November. Remember, November, we will be working in the unit plan. So I need you connected. Yes, and what will we do? Work on task 5 to share the guidelines for teachers. The guidelines for teachers to choose reading and writing activities for beginners. For the beginners, yes. So work on to share the guidelines for teachers to choose reading and writing beginners next class. Next class, and upload your summaries to the wiki. Okay, is there anything else we need to remember? So it's not too much. You have some more time. Take advantage of the time. And next class, yes, I need the groups working together with step by step as we used to do, so that we have our unit plans by the end of the month. That would be ideal. Upload your guidelines. Guidelines to the wiki on Educandos in week 11, which is the present week. Okay, girls. So do you have any other questions?
No.
I need urgent answers. Okay, so you have your time to take advantage of the time. I will see you tomorrow. We have eventos. Remember, we're doing some practice. You have some practice online on Educandos. And remember, we need to continue practicing grammar and reading. Reading, a little bit of reading as well. Okay, so I will see you tomorrow and next Tuesday for this module. If you don't have any other questions, so thank you.
Thank you, teacher.
And have a great week, girls.
See you.
Yes.
Bye.
See you. Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye-bye.